How to avoid temptations. HALT. HALT. There is an acronym that sums up times when you are most vulnerable to temptations. It is HALT. When you are hungry. When angry. When lonely. When tired. Recognize that everyone has their own set of temptations. The real trick is to determine what triggers your vulnerability to those temptations. Once the trigger is identified, it is much easier to avoid the temptation. Hunger isn't solely tied to food. It may be a hunger to own a particular car, belong to a certain club, be like the neighbors, or some other desire. A priest, a minister, a counselor, or other trusted person can help you discover and deal with your temptations. When you are angry, do you seek revenge, brood about a perceived hurt? Does an argument at work lead to arguments at the dinner table? Do you transfer your anger to another? Jesus was tempted. Turn to the Gospel of Matthew chapter 4 verses 1 to 11. Yes, Satan tempted Jesus, but in each case, Jesus didn't become angry. He overcame the temptation by quoting scripture. Knowledge of the Bible scripture will help you overcome many future temptations and help you to learn to forgive yourself and others for past mistakes. Loneliness can be overcome in groups or activities that benefit others. Groups afford you the opportunity to join in activities with others, make new friendships and work for a common purpose. If the group loses focus, it might be time to find another volunteer group. Some people find that joining gyms, going to libraries, or going to church provides them safe havens where they can interact with others when they chose to do so. Regular interactions with family or friends can get you over periods of loneliness and provide you with the opportunity to look forward to Sunday dinners. You can be lonely in a crowded room unless you are willing to reach out to others. It's hard to be lonely when speaking to others or listening intently to a speaker. The T in HALT stands for tired. When we are tired, our minds usually wander, and because our minds are actively wandering when we should be sleeping, we can't sleep. Physical activity usually leads to deep sleep at the right time. Taking a hot shower, reading a book, meditation, and breathing techniques also work well. A good night's sleep will naturally lead to a good attitude when you awake to a new day. Yesterday's problems might not look as dark as they did yesterday. We are all led to do evil by Satan, and he tries to take advantage of our shortcomings, our trials, and our inability to, or our refusal to see, the inevitable consequences of our actions. Example: wow, I'm 3 house payments behind. I received a foreclosure notice. It's not my fault. I had big medical bills. The income taxes were due. Satan tells you, no problem. All of these problems will go away if you embezzled enough money from your employer. You can pay it back when you can. You embezzle the money and now live in a constant state of fear that your employer will discover your embezzlement, and you will face a prison sentence. You have fallen into a hole that will get deeper and deeper until you are eventually caught. Instead of solving a couple of problems, you have opened the door to an infinite number of other problems. God seeks proof of your genuine love, trust, and faith in Him. He then allows Satan to test you. The story I just told you came from a prisoner in a state penitentiary who was serving a sentence for embezzlement. Everything and everybody she cared for had been taken from her. One of her counselors best summed up her problem. If you just spend your time in here waiting to get out, you will be back. If you find God, if you learn to pray, if you study the Bible, you can serve your time and begin a new life with no fear of returning to prison. That's exactly what she did. The most important thing in her life was her family, who turned their backs on her. Her children constantly reminded her of her sin, and their being forced into foster care. In time she had re-established trust with her family and friends. She returned to the same industry and position she once had and continued to be an honest and trustworthy employee. She volunteered that she embezzled because she was hungry to be a successful industry leader, and did that out of the sin of pride. When caught, out of arrogance, she became angry at those who caught her. Her trial made her feel lonely because she was ashamed of what she had done, and her family abandoned her. Prior to her imprisonment, she didn't sleep much because of the worry and need to spend more time in the office in order to chase the elusive industry success. She asked her boss why he was willing to hire her, and then promote her to a position of trust, knowing that she had been convicted of embezzlement. He told her, he watched her every move, she had an outstanding knowledge of the business in her personal letter. She asked, "Personal letter?" "Yes, you are the only one in the office who puts a stamp on your personal mail. If you can be that honest, you can certainly be trusted with anything above 45 cents. They both had a good laugh on that one. She had taken her trial, failed to follow the 10 Commandments, but now she has become a strong person who has regained most of the family, friends, respect, and success she had lost. Matthew 25 verse 23, his master said to him, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy." 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13, no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and He will not let you be tempted beyond your strength, but with the temptation will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it.